You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Welcome to the big show, my family and friends, the Chris Voss Show podcast, the family that loves you deeply, really loves you, almost in an unconditional sense, except for I don't know, the guy wearing the blue shirt in the back. We're not really sure about him. Did somebody let him in? Is he with anybody back there? Anyway, no, we love everyone on the Chris Voss Show, as long as you're not evil. I think that's the one thing. That's one caveat the attorneys maybe put in the thing. Anyway, guys, we have an amazing, super wonderful Wonder Dog show for you. We have a Wonder Dog show. I just made that up on the Ramble because that's what the Ramble does. And it's a journey of adversity, overcoming life challenges, addiction, and getting electrified twice and in a crazy way. So we're going to be talking about that, and you're going to be inspired as hell. And if you're not, well, there's full refunds at the door. Just send in your receipts and whatever your credit card stuff you spent, and we'll offer free refund. Wait, the show's free? What? Okay, well, you're not getting refunds, people. You definitely want to watch the show and check it out. It's Monday morning. Wonder Dog. What is it? Where did that come from? I don't know. I just made it up in the Ramble. Anyway, guys, as always, we do this so that we can feed you and set you up for the guilting and shaming of the plugs. Refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. If you haven't, you want them to be smarter, because Thanksgiving dinner is coming up, and so is Christmas. People 10 years from now are going, what are you talking about, Chris? But it's coming up in 2023, and you want to make sure that when you're hanging out with those people, you know how they bring politics and they bring other stuff to, the family dinner, and everyone argues and has their hands around each other's throat. Don't do that, people. You want your friends to be smarter and your relatives to be smarter, so that you can have interesting, logical conversations at Thanksgiving dinner. So refer them to the Chris Voss Show. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, and we're making hay over there on the TikTok at Chris Voss1. Today, we have an amazing gentleman on the show. Daniel Spencer joins us on the show. He's a life coach, husband, father, and he has one of the most amazing stories, if not the most amazing story we've ever had on the show. Not a lot of people have been through the journey that he's been on, and he's going to teach us a lot about overcoming fear, recreating oneself, hewing oneself from being incredibly overweight, et cetera, et cetera. He's been through hell and back. He's been sober for over 12 years. He abused marijuana and alcohol as a teenager in his late 20s. He's been married for almost 20 years, with 3 kids, all teenagers, and almost divorced. He's gone through a total body transformation. He was almost 300 pounds, and he's now about 160 pounds. He was in a near-death electrical, it's Monday, people, electrical accident twice, with third-degree burns to his face and multiple skin graft surgeries. He found his purpose in life out of all of this, and now he tells his story and shares his healing process through physical fitness and a very strict diet. He's now an online life coach who's helping fellow humans gain their self-confidence and gain mental strength through the same process that he's adopted. And he's here to inspire more people, and I think you're going to find his story is unlike any you've ever heard. Welcome to the show, Daniel. How are you?
I'm good, Chris. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming, and give us the .coms or wherever people can find you on the interwebs to interact with you more, get to know you better, and reach out to you.
Yeah, my Instagram handle is reps and double time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a Facebook. It's Daniel Spencer. And I have a Facebook group also. It's called Phoenix Fitness.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Phoenix Fitness, the Facebook group, and then you have a YouTube channel as well. So give us, so we got that down. Give us a 30,000 overview of who you are and what you do, basically, for your clients and other stuff.
Yeah, I'm a life coach. I like to say I'm a life coach by accident. I'm a power lineman by trade,
Hmm.
and a father and a husband by purpose. Growing up, I kind of really didn't. I was just kind of lost, wondering. My wife found me and gave me a purpose. That was to be a husband and a father. Got into the power line company, and after my accident, I started getting into life coaching and helping people overcome a lot of the same things that I did. Um, you know, Having total body transformation. It's hard work, but it's very possible for everybody. Overcoming fears and self-limiting beliefs is what I suffered with majority of my life, and I use nutrition and physical fitness as a way to overcome lots of those obstacles.
There you go. And as we mentioned in the bio, you've overcome a lot. You've had quite the hell of a journey. So give us a hero story. I mean, we kind of gave synopsis of it, but tell us more about your movement through life. What got you down the road that you did? How'd you grow up? And now you're here.
I grew up normal home. I have an older brother. Parents were together, blue collar dad, mom stayed at home.
Mhm.
And just out of nowhere, one summer I was in the sixth grade, just finished sixth grade, and they said that they were going to get a divorce.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's kind of just where everything internally just started taking a downward spiral.
Hmm.
Uh, Found myself alone a lot of
Wow.
loneliness, and I started seeking comforts in the wrong people and the wrong habits.
Hmm.
Started getting myself into marijuana, acting up in school,
Hmm.
and that continued up into high school, into adulthood.
So let me ask you this: what, were you did your father end up leaving the home? And how old were you when that happened?
He did. I was 12 years old, and he
Hmm.
moved out, and then my mom had to work two jobs just
Hmm.
to try and make more ends meet. And
Yeah.
it was just empty
So
home most of the time.
did you blame yourself for it? I mean, some children, they internalize and think that maybe they were to blame for their parents' thing. That's a that's a hard age to be, where you're starting to go from a child to a man, and not having a father around or father in the home can make a huge difference in your development.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really blame myself.
Hmm.
Um, my dad was still around. He would come visit on the weekends, and we'd go see him quite a bit. But I didn't blame myself, but I was definitely confused on the reasons why.
There you go.
Because parents never argued a whole lot. There was no fights in the house or nothing. It was just kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, and one of the big challenges, we've had psychologists on the show, is children aren't really developed to understand, the dynamics of what's going on with human beings and adult relationships, and so it's very confusing for them.
Yeah.
They're kind of lost. And it sounds like you went through you started acting out, started uh, responding to it in different emotional ways, and you said you started drinking very heavily too.
Yeah, I did. It started with marijuana abuse really first, and then into high school. Going to high school parties at Friday nights after the football games.
Hmm.
And so when my dad actually ended up moving back down, well, we moved down to Southern California with him.
Hmm.
So we kind of transitioned from living with my mom to moving with my dad. We moved down here to Southern California, and it was a total culture change. And once he got to a certain point after I graduated high school, he decided he wanted to move back up north
Hmm.
to my childhood home. And he was like, you have a choice here. You can move with me or, find a place to live. So I didn't want to start all over again. I had a whole new set of friends, a whole new way of life. So my brother and I decided to stay down here. And that's kind of where I started entering the workforce. I was just over 18 and a half, and I needed to supplement my money. I felt with what I knew, which was marijuana. Instead of just always spending money to buy it, I figured I might as well just be the guy
The
that
guy.
everybody comes to for it. Yeah.
It's a get high on your own supply is cheaper, I think. So there you go. So how do you meet your wife, I think, or prospective wife, and you go down that journey, and then you get in the business of being in the let's call it the electronics business for comedy.
Power line trade.
The power line trade. There you go.
Yeah.
Shocking business to be in. There's probably a lot of jokes there. So tell us how that comes about, and then you have a fateful tragedy.
Yeah, that all happened really quick. Right after I was about 21, I just turned 21, and I met my wife where I used to work at.
Mm-hmm.
And right after that, like I instantly fell in love. You know, like I said, I was lost all through my adolescence into my young adulthood. I was lost. I was confused. I, suffered from slight depression. And she hit on me. She picked up on me, and we kind of hit it off right away. I didn't want to leave her side. I was like, this is where my heart is. Right after that, I had I got a job opportunity, with the city of Los Angeles to work for the public utility. And everything just started happening from there. My pay doubled. I had great health benefits. Right after that, we ended up getting married, having our first child, and life it flourished. Everything was going great. But at that time, now that I had a commercial license, I couldn't smoke weed anymore. Right away, I told her what I was doing. I was like, I sell weed. And she's like, I don't agree with it. I don't like it.
It's not going to last long with her.
No. So that kind of went out the window, right? I didn't need to supplement my income. I was making good money.
Yeah.
But I still had this internal pain that I was dealing with without a healthy outlet to get it off. So, I started drinking more.
Wow.
I started drinking a whole lot more. And
probably put on some weight during that time.
I did. I was drinking a whole lot and more money. We'd go out to have nicer dinners, treat ourselves a little bit more. With dinners came drinks, and with the food and drinks came lots of extra calories. And I ended up gaining 100 pounds.
Wow.
Essentially.
Wow.
From the time I started up until the time I had actually quit drinking, which was after my first accident. Yeah, I gained 100 pounds.
Damn. So you tell us about the two accidents. I mean, this is what's going to be intriguing to people. Give us a synopsis of those and what went into it.
So the first time I got electrocuted, I was actually electrocuted with 2,770 volts.
Holy crap.
Yeah. It was, I was a 4-step apprentice at the time, and we were taping up a temporary splice. We were putting waterproofing tape on a temporary splice, and the seniors, that's a senior position, when they were putting the insulating tape on this connector, the tape kept ripping and ripping, and we didn't know. So we ended up, it was me and another apprentice. He actually made full contact with the phase. And I came to potential, which means like my body became electrified. And then I grounded out on my leg. So I suffered 3rd-degree burns on my leg. And he ended up needing skin grafts on his hand. And after that, I was off of work for a month, but I didn't seek therapy. I didn't seek counseling. I was full of fear. A big part of me was full of self-doubt, because when they talked about what the job plan was going to be, I had an idea of how to make the connection better, but I didn't speak up on it. Right. I didn't listen to my conscience to say, hey,
really?
Yes. Yeah. That was what made me so mad about the whole situation, was that I didn't speak up. I lacked the confidence to speak up on it.
There you go. And then the second one, and do you think about quitting at that point in time? Like, hey, maybe this isn't the right business to be in. I mean, at that point, you probably have it creates a fear anchor kind of in you where, you have some tragedy like that befall you, and, you kind of question the universe and you question what you're doing. And maybe your wife also was like, hey, what the hell's going on over there, man? Maybe we should find something else to do.
The thought definitely came across, but I mean, I had no other skills. I had no other skills. Right after high school, I got into the easiest job I could get, which was schlepping boxes in a warehouse. and my uncle is the one who actually told me to get into this trade. So I took one college course, which made me eligible for the test. And this was all I knew. It was either continue for another 8 months and become a journeyman, or fall back into the position that I started in, which was, it made good money, but not fairly enough what the potential was.
There you go. So what happens with your second accident then?
My second accident. So at this time, this was just over 2 years ago. This was April 27th, 2021. At this time, I had already promoted twice. So I was an apprentice. My first accident, became a journeyman, promoted into senior cable splicer. And we were working in an underground vault. It was, we were working in a link box and switching, trying to de-energize a section of a circuit. And communication broke down. We weren't following procedure. And again, my self-talk, my conscience, I didn't listen to it, because knowing that we weren't following procedure, I kind of thought about our game plan and what we had came up with. And in my head, I came up with a better solution to what we had agreed with, but I didn't speak on it again. And it bit me in the ass again. This time it was way worse. I wasn't electrocuted. This time it was all arc flash. It was all arc flash burns. It was all thermal burns just to the skin.
Wow.
And luckily, it was life threatening. So I actually thought I was going to die. It should have only been a fraction of a second, because the circuit breaker, we have system protections on our circuits. Well, the circuit breaker we were working on actually failed.
Oh, geez.
And instead of shutting off in a fraction of a second, it took 2 full seconds for it to actually shut off. And it was one of the most traumatic things I've ever experienced in my life. I was off of work for 5 months. I spent 10 nights in the hospital, 2 skin graft surgeries. And while I was off, again, that's when I actually had the idea and the thoughts of, I need to figure out a different line of work. I was even more scared to go back and questioning my skills and my ability as a journeyman, as a worker. There was a lot of self-doubt.
I can imagine the pictures that you talk about on your Instagram, where you inspire a lot of people, and you've got your site over there. You've got the pictures of the skin grafts. You've got a huge giant wrap around your face. Almost looks like your head is mummified in a giant cast.
It was all gauze. It was gauze and bandages. And I share that quite a bit, just for the fact that a lot of my followers are in the trade, and the risk is there. It's there every single day. It's there with every job we pull up to. And I put it on there as a reminder to everybody to, first of all, follow procedures, wear your PPE properly, but second of all, to listen to your conscience. Listen to that voice inside of your head that's telling you, this is what's right, and this is what you should be doing, when we know that we're engaging in acts that are not going to benefit us.
Definitely. So at this point, are you still pretty heavy overweight?
At this point, no.
Okay.
So I quit drinking. When I started losing weight was in 2000 and I think it was 2012.
Okay.
February.
Was that after the first shock then?
It was. Yeah, the first accident was August 2011. And after that, I just dealt with it with the same way that I dealt with all my other internal problems, which was alcohol. But this time I ramped it up. I was drinking even more.
Damn.
I would leave the job site, go straight to the liquor store. By the time I drove home, I would be drunk.
Wow.
And that's when I really was at my heaviest.
Wow. Now you're transformation, people really need to go see this on your Instagram page, is extraordinary. You've got your before and after pictures. You've got the pictures of you shocked. You are, I don't know what the right word is because I'm not a gym. I mean, I go to the gym, but I'm not like a gym term guy. But you are, you have a incredibly hard muscle frame that you built on what, probably 160 pounds?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you are completely all muscle from some of the pictures I'm seeing. You're jacked. I think, is that the word we use in the gym?
That's it. I hear a lot.
You look like a 20-year-old. You are built. You got a six or eight pack abs. You're built like a 20-year-old. You know, like I see these 20-year-old guys, and at 55, I'm like, God, I wish I could do that. I mean, you look like you're completely rejuvenated, health wise, body wise, muscle wise. I'm sure your wife's really happy with you. How do you go on this journey where you decide to overcome not only the fears, you go back to the job that's almost killed you twice with the electrocutions and these accidents? You go back to that, you overcome your fear of that, and then you start your online presence of a brand where you're working out, inspiring other people. How do we move into that?
First, the first way I did it was facing that fear, just being totally honest with myself. I took 100% accountability, even though I had another partner there with me. I bared all the weight of this pain and this accident on myself, and I was just completely honest with myself. This time after the accident, I sought out a psychologist, so that helped me understand some of the things that I did right after it all went wrong. When I got back to work, they finalized the investigation, and I was doing a safety tour. I was going with the safety section when they would present my accident, and I would get up and speak about it every single meeting. I was doing 2-3 a day sometimes. And every time before I'd go up, my heart would be pumping on my chest. I'd be scared. I'd relive this moment. So just reliving it every single day, I kind of got rid of some of that fear. I definitely, when my conscience calls me into action, I do it. If it's telling me I shouldn't be doing this, I don't do it. If it's telling me, hey, you should speak up on this situation, I speak up on it. And
so you got better at listening to yourself, listening to your conscious, kind of getting to know yourself better, trusting yourself more. There you go.
Absolutely.
And how do you translate that into building your online coaching presence and inspiring people? You've got the videos of you working out that's on there, pictures of you. I mean, your body transformation is extraordinary, dude. People really need to go check it out. You've got the skin graft pictures that are up there, and to go from that to here and stay in the same line of work. How did you develop it where you started deciding, hey, I want to be a coach, I want to help other people, I want to inspire other people, I want to motivate people to improve their lives and go the distance? And you're proof pudding on your website.
Yeah, during my time off from my accident, I used the gym as part of my therapy. I would wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares, and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I'd go work out in my garage. And I would work out 2-3 times a day. And during this time off, I was building good muscle definition, and a lot more people were asking me, because I had already lost about 80 pounds before this accident. But after the accident, I started using the gym more. I started getting more muscle definition, and a lot more people were asking me, dude, I really noticed the changes. What are you doing? Help me out. And I just didn't know how to show everybody. I didn't have the tools as far as what apps to use for tracking the foods or for putting the workouts together, because I knew how to meal prep. I knew how to put a nutrition plan together. I knew how to structure workouts, but I didn't know exactly how to offer it. So I hired a coach, and he showed me how to present my story on social media, how to use social media as a tool to reach other people, and what apps to use as far as training online, for food tracking, for figuring out people's nutrition properly, and for building workouts that are customized to every client.
There you go.
So I do it, and I follow his plan, And, I'm helping people from all over the world really transform their minds and get these get years back on their life. I mean, because people, yeah, they ask me, how old are you? And I tell them, and they don't believe it. I take my daughter, who's 18, out to lunch or, to the store, and they think, oh, is this your brother? Is this your friend? And she says, no, this is my dad.
Well, I mean, you're in really good shape. Like I said, you've got the body of a 12-year-old going on, and people can see what you're doing. I mean, you're proof of positive of what you've gone through and stuff. And you've gone back to what you do. I mean, you're still dealing every day with, I'm sure fear is still, I'm reading a book right now from a Secret Service agent that talks about how even when you have a certain fear of something that's anchored really hard, you're still going to experience, but it's really kind of how you deal with that fear. We talked in the green room about Stoicism. Did Stoicism maybe help you get through this, Marcus Aurelius, meditations and other things? Or did you just kind of find that as a good mind base?
Yeah, I think having self-actualization really helps at first, right? And I didn't know anything about Stoicism or any of the teachings of Marcus Aurelius or Seneca or anybody. But once I got into my coaching program, or once I hired my coach, and he gave me a list of tasks that you're going to do, because he said, if you want to hire, if you want to gain clients, you need to tighten it up, so he put me on a nutrition plan. He helped me with my second half of my transformation, and he's one of the tasks that he had given me for my day, which is what I have my clients do, is wake up in the morning and journal and get into something positive, some positive media. That's, like watching YouTube videos on Stoicism or reading the books about personal development. And one of them that I came across was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And actually, my dad gave me a book. It's called Three Magic Words. He gave it to me when my daughter was first born. I tried reading it, and it made absolutely no sense to me. I couldn't connect it with myself. That was the first book that I started reading when I got into his coaching program, and I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put it down because everything was just connecting, right? It was about, personal self-talk, personal development, tapping into your inner consciousness and being more self-aware. And, that's part of the process, and that's part of finding yourself and answering these questions within yourself. And, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do to fix it? And we're not going to negotiate ourselves out of the work that comes along with creating those goals that we have for ourselves.
There you go. And so you've been on a hell of a journey. I mean, and you've overcome a lot. I mean, most people, they have a small cathartic crisis in their life, or sometimes it's not small. It's not small to most people at the time, but they overcome it. And then they go and help people with their story. You've been electrocuted twice. You've had the challenge of being married for 20 years, almost getting divorced. I'm sure being a father of 3 has been a journey for you that you've learned a lot. But then, becoming sober, losing over 140 pounds. Let's not add any more negative things to your stack. I think you're done through the negative things. Does that sound like a good deal at this point?
Yeah. Life doesn't happen to us. It happens for us, and preparing ourselves daily. That's why I still do it. That's why I still get up every single day early. I get up at 2:45, and that's why I go to the gym. I push myself physically. I test myself with limiting my caloric intake, because if we don't prepare ourselves, during times of peace, then we're going to fail during times of war, right? That was an old Chinese proverb. It says, I'm probably going to butcher it, but it says, you have to prepare during times of peace so you don't bleed during times of battle.
There you go. Yeah. And we never know what life's going to come, in Stoicism, they talk about memento mori and other things, that deal with, hey, you know your mortality, take care of today, be present today.
Absolutely.
And you know, and I think preparing for the worst, I mean, that's definitely the thing, because if you have that discipline of mind, which is what you've developed in controlling our fears, in dealing with our feels from our fears from a logical reasoning aspect of it. I have a fear of mispronouncing stuff on the show, evidently. Uh, and you know, going through all that, you're prepared, because life is going to come at you, and there's probably more challenges for everyone that comes, even though we go through stuff. What do you find you help most clients with? What do they come to you requesting most, they struggle with? And give us kind of some overview as to how you help work them through that.
I think the biggest one that they struggle with is weight loss.
Mm.
Weight loss, and they say they don't have the time, because a lot of my clients are in the trades, right?
Uh-huh.
Construction trades, which we put in busy, crazy hours, and a lot of people say I don't have the time, and I just need to lose 40, 50 pounds. A lot of it might be due to scares from doctor visits.
Mhm.
So I once they come to me and we figure out what they're struggling with, I
Mhm.
structure them with proper macros to keep them to maintain lean muscle, build lean muscle, burn the fat. And I structure a workout program for them that's customized to their schedule, to their abilities. And also I give them these tasks. We
Mhm.
have to look deep in within ourselves and really face these things that we use as excuses for our vices and our crutches. And we're just going to eliminate that, right? Because I say that, I'm a life coach, I'm a mindset coach that's based on fitness and nutrition. We use those as tools to strengthen our mental fortitude. And one of the biggest wins that I've had as a client, as a coach, is one of my clients was saying he was drinking daily, the same
Oh
way I
wow.
was.
Mhm.
And after the first 2 weeks, we have a weekly team meeting via Zoom, and he goes, "Hey, coach, I might not be losing a whole lot of weight, or whatever, but," he goes, "I got rid of all my alcohol." I was
Wow.
like, "Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome."
And if you're going to get healthy, kick the alcohol, man. I drank hard for 20 years, half a
Yeah.
bottle of vodka pretty much every night or every other night. For me, it was like a fuel to get, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, but it was a fuel to, get that extra juice and, work on extra files, work late, do stuff, multiple companies. So, I was always burning at both ends. And so alcohol is like a fuel. It was like a sugar fuel for me, where I'm like, hey, I'm tired. I'm all stressed out. All my muscles are tight. And I'm like, I'll drink some booze. And for some reason, me being able to relax with alcohol, I could, just keep right on
Just
running
kept you
the
going.
machine.
Wow.
And I didn't have an addiction. I could, I was doing what's called abusing it and abusing
Yeah.
myself. And of course, had a lot of weight, and drinking lots of Mountain Dew, eating all the worst foods. And now my body loves me. I don't drink anymore. I eat healthy. I'm kind of veganese. There's a million different versions of veganism, so don't write me. But basically, I still eat meat, but I on a very rare occasion. And I lost 100 pounds. I'm still losing weight and
Amazing.
intermittent fasting. And but yeah, eating right, it's I tell people, get off the booze, quit eating all the shit, and don't wait till you're 50 like I did
Right.
to make some changes. I think I made significant changes in 2000, probably when I was in 40, about 47, when I lost my first 75 pounds.
Wow.
But don't wait till you get to the end of your life, because it's so hard to claw it back.
Yeah.
At your age and other ages, younger, it's a little bit easier. But still, I mean, when you let yourself go that far, it's work to come back. It's not like when you're 20 where you just go, I won't eat for a couple of days and you lose like 30 pounds.
Right. Yeah. I mean, constantly procrastinating the work that's entailed it's just going to end up prolonging the long-term effects and make the road a lot harder.
Plus the damage you do to your body. I mean, there's a famous rock star, Smash Mouth, that died recently of alcohol addiction and destroying his liver. I believe he just passed away today. And so there's an example of how bad alcohol can really impact you, and it's really not good. You're really toxifying yourself.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, what you're doing to yourself, I mean, what you're doing to your family, because it almost cost me mine.
Wow.
My wife was telling me all the time, Dan, you're drinking too much. It would make me just shut everything out. I would think, well, it would make me happy. It would make me joyful and playful. I wasn't an angry drunk or nothing like that. So I was thinking, well, as long as it was making me seem happier, everybody would be happier. But on the contrary, it was ruining my marriage,
Yeah. And you're not present, you're tuned out. And sometimes you need to be tuned in. And I gotta tell you, not drinking, the money I used to spend on expensive vodka, the money I used to spend, I go out to eat now, but when I eat, like the other day I went to a nice restaurant, and I think it ended up being 2 meals for me. So I brought the other half home. That's pretty routine when I go out, and that calorie control. But you're doing such a great job inspiring people. How can people reach out to you, get to know you better, talk to you about online coaching them, and just on board with you if that's possible, if you guys are a fit?
Yeah, definitely follow me on Instagram. Send me a message through Instagram, reps period double time. REPS. My Facebook, Daniel Spencer. Those are probably the best 2 ways right there. I'm constantly on Instagram, either posting content, responding to messages, responding to comments. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And I answer every single message. And I have people that I help that don't sign up to be my client, because that's just part of giving back, right? I believe a lot of what happened in my life is based on karma. And the accident, I believe, was karmic debt, just wanting to take a little bit of change back. So I give back as much as I can, so some of that karma doesn't get passed on to the people that I care about the most.
There you go. And if people go to your Instagram, you're going to be inspired. He's there showing his workout, his physique. I mean, he's a hard body. Did you take any testosterone supplements for any of this, or is this all working out? Taking the stuff?
I was taking natural supplements. At the time when I got to my lowest, my body fat percentage was pretty low. My fat intake was very low, right? So I didn't ever got blood work done or anything, but I started taking Tonga Elite.
Oh yeah.
And so I was taking that. And then once I started reverse dieting, I started adding a little bit more fat into my diet. The natural energies just started coming back. But as far as supplements go, I mean, I take creatine monohydrate, glutamine, and just multivitamins, stuff like that. That's basically all I take.
There you go. I've been, I'm at the age 55 where you have to start looking at testosterone. That's why I was asking, and you have to start looking at your testosterone. That Tonga, Lee, and there's probably a lot of other supplements you take, like I do. I take the glutamine daily, multiple times a day, different things like that. There's a whole different regimen. And, now that I'm 55, it's like the amount of pills I take is extraordinary. I feel like that. There's a guy. Have you seen the guy who spends $2 million a year to try and reverse his aging? Have you heard that story and seen that guy?
No.
Yeah, there's a guy who takes like $2 million. He spends $2 million to try and reverse his aging, and it's kind of funny to see him do it, because you're like, you might just get hit by a bus one day, dude. Or not that I wish him any harm. It's just I don't know, man. That's a hell of a lot of money, and trying to reverse aging is different. But you're doing a hell of a job. People can see the physique you have. I mean, people just really need to see it. I think people should check it out. You put up a lot of motivational stuff, and the discipline. Some people look at the gym, and I'll talk about this journey, because I saw someone making fun of someone at the gym. I was on a TikTok, and someone had posted a video making fun of a guy who was kind of fat and out of shape. It looked like maybe he wasn't Maybe he had some birth issues that didn't make him the smartest tool in the shed. And he's there just taking the bar and doing a core spin like this with the bar. And he's not really pushing himself. There's no weights on it. He's holding a barbell, which is the bar, which is actually pretty heavy. I think sometimes it's 30, 50 pounds.
45 pounds usually.
Yeah, and he's doing a core thing where he's spinning his core like this. Well, he doesn't look like, he's, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the thing. And so someone posted a trolling, hateful video online making fun of him. And one of the gym dudes who's, like you, posted a video like, hey, man, don't make fun of these people. They showed up, man. They're on the journey. They overcame what most people can't do. He's showing up's half the battle, man. I mean, there's sometimes I don't want to go to the gym and I just go, okay, drive there and, maybe go sit in the sauna or, just go there and just maybe start doing something. And then sometimes when I go there, I just, it's like a muscle response. I just kick in, but just going to the gym, man, it's half the battle. And it's not a battle. People need to realize with my little rant here is it's not a battle of your body. It's a battle of your mind. It's a discipline thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you could see, a lot of people, you can go look on my page and say, wow, that's really motivating. It's motivational. I want to start going to the gym on my own. Right? They might not seek me out for help, or they might not seek anybody out for help. The motivation will get you going, but the discipline is what's going to keep you in there, right? The discipline is what's going to help you reach your goals.
Mm-hmm. And that discipline is everything. Because sometimes you don't feel like going to the gym. Sometimes you're like, oh man, I can skip leg day today, or whatever. And sometimes I've gone. I've tried to do arm day, and I'm just like, I don't want to do arm day. Okay, well, you're gonna have to get on the treadmill. You're doing something while you're here. Sometimes I go sit in the hot tub, the sauna. Sauna is really amazing for your body, I guess. And so I'm glad you're helping people with your journey, because you have a hell of a story, man. And you've overcome it. And I think most people would have quit your job, and you've gone right back and climbed on the horse again. So definitely people should tune into you and be inspired by you. I think it's we've been doing this for 15 years now. We've never had anybody on the show. I think it was shocked once. We might have had somebody shocked once, but shocked twice. Holy crap, dude. And you go right back to it. Any final thoughts as we go out?
We all have limiting beliefs, and we all have things that we think we're never going to climb out of this hell. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, seek somebody out that's been through it. If it's alcoholism, if it's addictions with porn or problems in your marriage, substance abuse, seek somebody that's been through it. Seek somebody that will give you the right tools to help you overcome whatever it is that you need to make yourself better with. That might not be me. That might be a different coach. It might be for a different problem. But whatever it is, you absolutely have all the power within you to gain the strength and overcome those things.
Definitely. And tune into your Instagram. We get a lot of coaches and people on the show, and people that, hey, I've been through this journey, and I don't want to minimize them, but looking at the journey you've been on, and the proof is in the pudding, man. I've had a couple of coaches that I've come across that are living out of their car when you find out that they're faking their success. You look at your pictures, man, you can't fake the journey you're on and where you've gone from A to B, man. I mean, it's extraordinary and it's inspiring.
Thank you. That's part of what I try and do, is take my clients and make them undeniable. Mm-hmm. The work, make the work show with what you show up with.
And if you fix the mind, you fix the body, and you can become whole again. It's pretty awesome, man. So thank you very much for coming on the show, Daniel. This has been really inspiring, and I super encourage all of our listeners to go check out his Instagram page, because it will blow your freaking mind. It's extraordinary, and it's even given me. I'm going to go to the gym after this.
It'll blow your face off, you know.
maybe that should be your tagline. I'm the coach that will blow your face off. Or I don't know. There you go. Well, Daniel, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thanks
so much for
tuning in. Thank you. Thanks to my audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com, Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com, Chris Voss, YouTube.com, Chris Voss, and Chris Voss1 on TikTok. Be good to each other. Stay safe. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you guys next time. And that should